Hi, I'm Rita Wilkins, also known as the Downsizing Designer. So, is busyness a problem for you or for someone in your life where they're always too busy to get together or too busy to do what they need to do? So, for some people, busyness has actually become a badge of honor. As an example, your best friend calls wanting to connect and says, any chance that you and I can get together this week for dinner? I haven't heard from you in a while and I'm worried about you. And your response is, I can't, I'm so busy. And another one might be that maybe your resolution this year was to exercise 3 times a week with your friends for the workout and also for the social aspect. And one of your walking buddies calls and said, we missed you last week. Are you okay? And again, you say, I'm sorry, I just can't make it. I'm so busy. And then another example would be you promised yourself that you would take 30 minutes every morning to meditate, to pray, to journal. And so far, you've only managed to do it twice in the last 3 weeks. Again, I'm so busy, I don't have time for that too. So are you really too busy? Or is that just an automatic response? Is that what you have become accustomed to telling yourself and others? So business sometimes becomes a badge of honor, but then it's also sometimes a way of life. And it's something to give serious thought to, especially when you're overworked or your committed lifestyle is overcommitted, I should say, can have a detrimental effect on your health, your happiness, and your relationships. And when you have no white space at all on your calendar for what matters most to you, and when you have no life outside of work, it might be time to confront the profound burden of busyness that it can have on the overall quality of your life. So the busyness badge is actually a myth. By telling others that we're so busy and we're working all the time, we're implicitly suggesting that we're sought after, which enhances our status. And the reality of busyness, though, is that it's a facade and creating a false sense of purpose and a never-ending cycle of one more thing to do. And that's according to the Harvard Business Review. The problem with busyness, though, is you're number one, you never are enough unless you're busy. So that's an interesting question. Subconsciously, you might be hiding behind busyness, that I'm not successful unless I'm busy. Number two is you might be afraid to slow down. Busyness can be a crutch, an excuse to having no life, no real contentment or satisfaction outside of just being busy. And number three is that you're disconnected from others. Your disconnectedness conveys that you're too busy for me and that I don't matter. So relationships suffer when you're disconnected and when you don't make time for those that you care about. And number four is you don't know how to disconnect. You're too busy to be in the moment. Many of life's little things are missed because of your inability to enjoy life in the moment. So how can you let go of busyness and that habit? So number one, acknowledge that busyness has become a burden. It's become a habit and maybe even an addiction because it's on automatic pilot and you just say, I'm too busy. Number two is understand why you think you need to be busy all the time. Could it be to project that you're successful and in demand? Maybe could it be to avoid or distract from something that you really don't want to face? Or could it be to procrastinate and delay something? So the number 3 way in terms of how to let go of your busyness habit is to stop saying it. Stop saying you're so busy. Stop making busyness your go-to excuse. Make time for what matters. And number 4 is prioritize what matters most to you. What do you want more? What do you want to do more of in your life? Downsize and declutter your life by removing all those unnecessary possessions that distract you from what you value most. Make room for those things that matter by removing everything else that doesn't. And number 5 is to create a stop doing list. Your stop doing list actually is more important than your to-do list. So living in that shadow of I should do this and I have to do that is not living the life of your choosing, but rather a life of what others expect or want you to be. Number 6 is stop multitasking and start single tasking. So it's just all about focus. Remove those distractions that prevent you from staying focused on the project at hand. That cell phone, the social media, whatever it is that is a distraction for you, turn it off and try single tasking. Number 7 is to practice being here now. So Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, we're always getting ready to live while we're never really living. So commit to staying centered and focus on the present. Number 8 is take time for you. Make you a priority for a change. If you don't take care of yourself, you won't be any good for other people. So know what you need to relieve that stress, recalibrate and restore the balance in your life. Learn to say yes to what you need for your own health and well-being and happiness. Number 9 is to adopt the mindset of enough. Experience the joy and the peace of having enough and of being enough. Happiness lies within you, not comparing yourself to what you have or don't have. And number 10 is to stop overcommitting. So stop saying yes so much. Set boundaries, empower yourself to say no, and mean it if it doesn't align with what matters most to you. Thomas Edison once said, time is not a commodity that can be stored for the future use. It must be invested in hour by hour, minute by minute. So we all have the same 24 hours in each day, and we can't get that back. So if busyness has become a burden in your life, and if you want to make room for what matters most to you, choose it. Make time for it, prioritize it, commit to it, say yes to it, and invest in it because it's your life. And remember, you can live and design the life that you love.